All right, you guys are going to want to hear this. We're about to get into a story about a family brunch, and let me tell you, it goes from 0 to 100 real quick. Starts with some serious humiliation and ends with a plot twist that is just wow. So yeah, buckle up. So we're just going to drop you right into the thick of it. Picture this. You're at this fancy family brunch, right? And your own dad, your own father, says this out loud for everyone to hear. All because you got handed a plastic fork. And that one line, that's what sets this whole crazy thing in motion.
And let's be clear, this wasn't just some, awkward family meal. No way. The way it's told, it's more like she's on trial. That long table, it's called a runway of judgment. She's literally put on display for everyone to pick apart. I mean, talk about a toxic family dynamic.
And the way it's described, smirks spreading like poison. Wow. That just paints a picture, doesn't it? You can feel how poisonous the vibe in that room is. It's so clear that this isn't just a one-off bad day. Nah, this is a whole pattern of behavior.
And they're not just coming for her, oh no. They're going after her husband, Drew. See, in their eyes, he's invisible, which is basically their code for broke, a total loser, and they have no problem saying it to her face. They just made up this whole narrative that fit their little world, and it made her the perfect person to blame for everything.
But here's the thing. Her reaction is key. She doesn't blow up. She doesn't cry or run out. She just sits there, quietly trying to cut a steak with this ridiculous, flimsy plastic fork. And that fork, man, it becomes this perfect symbol of all their disrespect, but also of her incredible strength, just taking it.
Okay, so just when the family is really soaking up their little power trip, boom, everything is about to change. The whole power dynamic just gets completely flipped. The circus, as her husband calls it, yeah, it's about to be shut down. All of a sudden, there's this deep rumble. It starts shaking the whole house. You've got glasses rattling on the table, everyone stops talking, nobody knows what's going on. And that sound? That's the sound of their entire smug little world about to shatter. I mean, this wasn't just some random noise. This was a full-on movie-style entrance. First you get the rumble, then you feel the vibrations, and then a black chopper just descends out of the sky, lands with like military precision right there on the perfect green lawn. Insane. And then the door of the helicopter opens. And who steps out? It's Drew, the invisible, broke husband. Except he's not what they thought. Not even close. He's in a sharp black suit, dark sunglasses, flanked by what looks like Navy guards. Can you just imagine the silence, the jaws dropping in that dining room? It must have been absolutely unreal. The whiplash here is just, it's incredible. You've got their sad little story about him being a broke nobody on one side, and on the other, the actual reality of a guy stepping out of a private helicopter with a security detail. It just lays it all bare, right? Their love is totally conditional. It's all about status. You really can't make this stuff up.
So he gets out, and he doesn't even look at her family. Just walks right past their stunned faces, goes straight to her. He doesn't get into it with them, doesn't say a word. His first words are just for her. It shows he gets it. He sees exactly what they're doing, and he's there to pull her right out of that mess.
And this right here, this is the ultimate mic drop. She doesn't have to scream, she doesn't make a scene, she just gently places that bent plastic fork, the very thing they tried to humiliate her with, right on the table, and walks away. It's so quiet, but man, is it powerful. That one move says it all. So what happens next? When a bunch of bullies get their entire worldview shattered? Wow, total chaos, that's what. The second that helicopter is in the air, her phone starts blowing up. The shock is wearing off, and now the desperate damage control begins. And get this, text from her dad. Just listen to this. He doesn't say, "I'm so sorry." Nope. He says, "You should have told us." Like it's her fault he was a jerk. The second he sees money and power, the mockery just, poof, it's gone. Now it's a negotiation. This isn't someone feeling bad. This is someone trying to make a deal. And her reply? Oh, it's just perfect. She's not even angry. She just hits them with the cold, hard truth. One sentence, and the whole family group chat just goes silent. She completely exposes them. They were cruel because they never actually saw her. They only saw what they thought she was worth. So the next day, her dad shows up, but his so-called apology is all about him. He's not sorry he hurt her, he's sorry his ego got bruised. He's upset that he wasn't the strongest man in the room anymore, and she just calls him right out on it, tells him he's the one who taught her that money equals worth, and then she closes the door on him. for good. And the rest of the family? Oh yeah, the messages started pouring in. But they were all these weak, pathetic excuses. It was so obvious they weren't sorry they were cruel. They were sorry they got caught looking like fools. They were just embarrassed that the person they were making fun of was suddenly way out of their league.
So that brings us to the end of the story, really. It's all about what comes after the big dramatic climax. It's about her finally realizing her own worth and deciding, you know what, I'm going to protect my own peace. And if that means cutting people out, then so be it.
Of course, the family tries one last time to pull her back in. They send this formal invitation for a reconciliation night. Can you believe that? Like you can just put forgiveness on the calendar and pretend the whole thing never happened. Just go right back to the way things were.
So, I gotta ask you, what would you do? After all that, would you actually go, give them another shot, or would you just be done for good?
Well, her answer is pretty clear. No big dramatic speech, she just takes one look at that invitation and drops it right in the trash. That's it. Conversation over. She is choosing herself. And I think that's really the big lesson here. Real closure, it's not about them finally saying they're sorry. Most of the time, they won't. It's about you realizing it's a toxic cycle and you deciding for yourself that you're just not going to be a part of it anymore. It's you setting yourself free. But you know, in the middle of all those fake apologies, there was one person who actually got it. Her grandma. And her message is just, it's everything. A powerful reminder that someone did see her strength all along. It just wasn't the loudest people in the room. Sometimes your real family isn't who you think it is.
And that's what it all comes down to, right? It leaves us with this big question. What's actually more valuable? The family you were born into, or the peace you have to fight to build for yourself? It's something to think about for sure.